Three things never come back: time, word, and opportunity. Therefore, do not waste time. Choose words, and do not miss the opportunity. If they spit at you behind your back, it means you're ahead of them. We have 2 lives, and the second begins when we realize we only have one. The disease of men is that they neglect their own fields and go to weed the fields of others. Before you embark on a journey of revenge, dig 2 graves. There are 1,000 lessons in defeat, but only one in victory. If you are depressed, you are living in the past. If you are anxious, you are living in the future. If you are at peace, you are living in the present. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. We take greater pains to persuade others that we are happy than in endeavoring to think so ourselves. A healthy man wants 1,000 things. A sick man only wants one. Work on clearing your thoughts. If you do not have bad thoughts, there will be no bad deeds. The man who says he can and the man who says he cannot are both correct. Learn as if you constantly feel you lack knowledge, and as if you are constantly afraid of losing your knowledge. Don't criticize your neighbor's roof for having snow when your door is not clean. If you hate, then you have been defeated. It is more shameful to distrust our friends than to be deceived by them. Appear weak when you are strong, strong when you are weak. He who flatters a man is his enemy. He who tells him of his faults is his maker. To see what is right and not do it is the worst cowardice. What the caterpillar calls the end, the rest of the world calls a butterfly. The person attempting to travel 2 roads at once will get nowhere. He who is satisfied with his lot is rich. The noble person uses things. The lesser man is used by things. A leader leads by example, not by force. Even the finest sword plunged into salt water will eventually rust. Man's nature is evil. Goodness is the result of conscious activity. In the midst of chaos, there is also opportunity. To lead people, follow them. When anger rises, think of the consequences. To know your enemy, you must become your enemy. If you are the smartest person in the room, then you are in the wrong room. Opportunities multiply as they are seized. Get rid of the desire to have. The funniest people are the saddest ones. When I let go of what I am, I become what I might be. The man who moves a mountain begins by carrying away small stones. Who wishes to fight must first count the cost. The weak wins over hard and strong. Be extremely subtle, even to the point of formlessness. Be extremely mysterious, even to the point of soundlessness. Thereby, you can be the director of the opponent's fate. True words are not pleasant. Pleasant words are not true. What the ancients called a clever fighter is one who not only wins, but excels in winning with ease. Live for the praise of others, and you will become their prisoner. People in ancient times did not like to talk much. They considered it a shame for themselves not to keep up with their own words. You have to believe in yourself. There is nothing softer and more flexible than water, but try to resist it. He who has all the answers has not been asked all the questions. If the mind is willing, the flesh could go on and on without many things. Watch your thoughts. They become your words. Watch your words. They become your actions. Watch your actions. They become your habits. Watch your habits. They become your character. Watch your character. It becomes your destiny. Great results can be achieved with small forces. The wise man avoids all extremes. Great is the man who has not lost his childlike heart. We accept advice in drops, but we distribute it in buckets. Ponder and deliberate before you make a move. When people know a lot, it is difficult to manage them. If what one has to say is not better than silence, then one should keep silent. Ultimate excellence lies not in winning every battle, but in defeating the enemy without ever fighting. Nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished. What you do not want done to yourself, do not do to others. The wheels of justice grind slow but grind fine. Man dies from birth. Study the past if you would define the future. It is easy to love your friend, but sometimes the hardest lesson to learn is to love your enemy. Knowledge is a treasure, and practice is the key to it. You can overcome bad habits only today, not tomorrow. Who knows doesn't say. Who speaks doesn't know. You can't trust a man who has nothing to lose. Choose a job you love, and you will never have to work a day in your life. Plan for what is difficult while it is easy. Do what is great while it is small. Whoever talks a lot often fails. Life is really simple, but we insist on making it complicated. If he sends reinforcements everywhere, he will be weak everywhere. Life is a series of natural and spontaneous changes. Don't resist them. That only creates sorrow. Let reality be reality. Let things flow naturally forward in whatever way they like. Think of tomorrow. Past can't be mended. An enemy is a friend who knows too much about you. Victory over others gives strength. Victory over oneself gives fearlessness. Give a bowl of rice to a man, and you will feed him for a day. Teach him to grow his own rice, and you will save his life. Disorder came from order. Fear came from courage. Weakness came from strength. Do not seek, otherwise you will lose. Do not seek, and you will find. It does not matter how slowly you go as long as you do not stop. The skillful artist will not alter his measures for the sake of a stupid workman. Beware of sugar that is mixed with poison. Beware of the fly that sat on a dead snake. A man dies easily because he has too much will to live. Who does not know the evils of war cannot appreciate its benefits. Time is a created thing. To say, I don't have time, is like saying, I don't want to. A noble person blames himself. An insignificant person blames others. Just as water retains no constant shape, so in warfare there are no constant conditions. Fill your bowl to the brim, and it will spill. Keep sharpening your knife, and it will be blunt. Friends are the siblings God never gave us. It is better to light one small candle than to curse the darkness. Every animal with blood in its veins and horns on its head will fight when it is attacked. The one who knows and pretends not to know is on top. Who without knowledge pretends to be knowledgeable, he is sick. Tell me, and I will forget. Show me, and I may remember. Involve me, and I will understand. Care about what other people think, and you will always be their prisoner. Getting something done is like digging a well. You can dig a well 70 feet deep, but if you don't hit water, it's just an abandoned well. Even a loss can turn into a profit, or profit can turn into a loss. The feeling of right or wrong is the beginning of wisdom. There is no crime greater than having too many desires. There is no disaster greater than not being content. There is no misfortune greater than being covetous. Attack the evil that is within yourself rather than attacking the evil that is in others. Be attentive to your thoughts. They are the beginning of actions. To complain about an unpleasant thing is to double the evil. To laugh at it is to destroy it. You can always rise above those who offend you by forgiving them. By 3 methods we may learn wisdom. First, by reflection, which is noblest. Second, by imitation, which is easiest. And third, by experience, which is the bitterest. The truth is not always beautiful, nor are beautiful words the truth. People are distressed by their inability to do it. The problem, however, is simply that they don't do it. You are controlled by the one who makes you angry. Be content with what you have. Rejoice in the way things are. When you realize there is nothing lacking, the whole world belongs to you. Roads were made for journeys, not destinations. Never say never, because the days go by so fast and nothing stays the same. Your life is what your thoughts make it. We gain by losing, lose by gaining. No matter how busy you may think you are, you must find time for reading, or surrender yourself to self-chosen ignorance. When I free myself from who I am, I become who I can be. Happiness is when you are understood. Great happiness is when you are loved. Real happiness is when you love. Temperance is the first step of virtue, which is the beginning of moral perfection. Sometimes we see a lot, but do not notice the main thing. The snow goose needs not bathe to make itself white. Neither need you do anything but be yourself. The wise man is one who knows what he does not know. Respect yourself and others will respect you. If you lack faith, then existence does not believe in you. What is evil to one at one time becomes good at another time to somebody else. I have just 3 things to teach: simplicity, patience, compassion. These 3 are your greatest treasures. Being deeply loved by someone gives you strength, while loving someone deeply gives you courage. The way is near, but men seek it too far. It is in easy things, but men seek for it in difficult things. New beginnings are disguised as painful endings. Appear weak when you are strong, and strong when you are weak. If you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the results of 100 battles. Let your plans be dark and impenetrable as night, and when you move, fall like a thunderbolt. In the midst of chaos, there is also opportunity. Victorious warriors win first, and then go to war, while defeated warriors go to war first, and then seek to win. To know your enemy, you must become your enemy. There is no instance of a nation benefiting from prolonged warfare. Treat your men as you would your own beloved sons, and they will follow you into the deepest valley. Even the finest sword plunged into salt water will eventually rust. Move swift as the wind, and closely formed as the wood. Attack like the fire, and be still as the mountain. Opportunities multiply as they are seized. There are not more than 5 musical notes, yet the combinations of these 5 give rise to more melodies than can ever be heard. When the enemy is relaxed, make them toil. When full, starve them. When settled, make them move. Who wishes to fight must first count the cost. If you wait by the river long enough, the bodies of your enemies will float by. Know yourself, and you will win all battles. To win 100 victories in 100 battles is not the acme of skill. To subdue the enemy without fighting is the acme of skill. Build your opponent a golden bridge to retreat across. Be extremely subtle, even to the point of formlessness. Be extremely mysterious, even to the point of soundlessness. Thereby, you can be the director of the opponent's fate. The whole secret lies in confusing the enemy so that he cannot fathom our real intent. What the ancients called a clever fighter is one who not only wins, but excels in winning with ease. Rouse him and learn the principle of his activity or inactivity. Force him to reveal himself so as to find out his vulnerable spots. You have to believe in yourself. If the mind is willing, the flesh could go on and on without many things. Thus, the expert in battle moved the enemy and is not moved by him. Attack is the secret of defense. Defense is the planning of an attack. Great results can be achieved with small forces. Ponder and deliberate before you make a move. If quick, I survive. If not quick, I am lost. This is death. Ultimate excellence lies not in winning every battle, but in defeating the enemy without ever fighting. If you ignore both your enemy and yourself, you are certain to be in peril. Move not unless you see an advantage. Use not your troops unless there is something to be gained. Fight not unless the position is critical. Wheels of justice grind slow but grind fine. It is easy to love your friend, but sometimes the hardest lesson to learn is to love your enemy. If his forces are united, separate them. You can't trust a man who has nothing to lose. Plan for what is difficult while it is easy. Do what is great while it is small. If he sends reinforcements everywhere, he will be weak everywhere. Be where your enemy is not. Only when the last tree has been cut down, the last fish been caught, and the last stream poisoned, will we realize we cannot eat money. There are two wolves fighting inside all of us. The first one is evil, the second one is good. Which wolf will win? The one you feed. When you were born, you cried and the world rejoiced. Live your life so that when you die, the world cries and you rejoice. It is better to have less thunder in the mouth and more lightning in the hand. Listen, or your tongue will make you deaf. Seek wisdom, not knowledge. Knowledge is of the past, wisdom is of the future. The weakness of the enemy makes our strength. Do not judge your neighbor until you walk 2 moons in his moccasins. They are not dead who live in the hearts they leave behind. There is nothing as eloquent as a rattlesnake's tail. It is less of a problem to be poor than to be dishonest. A brave man dies but once, a coward many times. Make my enemy brave and strong, so that if defeated I will not be ashamed. The bird who has eaten cannot fly with the bird that is hungry. Cherish youth, but trust old age. Wisdom comes only when you stop looking for it and start living the life the Creator intended for you. Not every sweet root gives birth to sweet grass. Take only what you need and leave the land as you found it. It is no longer good enough to cry peace. We must act peace, live peace, and live in peace. When a man moves away from nature, his heart becomes hard. Beware of the man who does not talk and the dog that does not bark. Our pleasures are shallow, our sorrows are deep. It does not require many words to speak the truth. Don't let yesterday use up too much of today. If a man is as wise as a serpent, he can afford to be as harmless as a dove. Poverty is a noose that strangles humility and breeds disrespect for God and man. Remember that your children are not your own, but are lent to you by the Creator. Walk lightly in the spring. Mother Earth is pregnant. Ask questions from your heart, and you will be answered from the heart. There is no death, only a change of worlds. What is life? It is a flash of a firefly in the night. It is a breath of a buffalo in the wintertime. It is as the little shadow that runs across the grass and loses itself in the sunset. Being alone is powerful. It makes you realize that you need yourself more. We generate fears while we sit. We overcome them by action. If you want to make the wrong decision, ask everyone. Don't look back. You are not going that way. If people took back the pain they caused you, you'd lose the strength you gained. Life will test you just before it blesses you. If you focus on the hurt, you will continue to suffer. If you focus on the lesson, you will continue to grow. The magic you are looking for is in the work you're avoiding. You can either be a negative or positive person in life, but only one will get you somewhere. Never expose your next step. Just take the step. A fish with a closed mouth never gets caught. The people who say you can't and you won't are usually the ones scared that you will. Be careful how you talk to yourself, because you are listening. Stop thinking you're doing it all wrong. Your path doesn't look like anybody else's because it can't, it shouldn't, and it won't. If it keeps you happy, keep it quiet. The family you create is more important than the family you come from. The more you know yourself, the less you need others' approval. Just because the past didn't turn out like you wanted doesn't mean your future can't be better than you ever imagined. Do not allow small minds to convince you that your dreams are too big. When you try to please everybody, you almost always please nobody. We cannot become what we want by remaining what we are. The truth is, everyone is going to hurt you. You just have to find the ones worth suffering for. If you find yourself repeatedly questioning whether or not something is right for you, the answer is usually no. Accept both compliments and criticism. It takes both sun and rain for a tree to grow. You did the best you could with what you knew at the time. Don't let new wisdom lead you to condemn yourself over old struggles. Bad habits are like a comfortable bed, easy to get into but hard to get out of. In the end, we only regret the chances we didn't take, the relationships we were too afraid to have, and the decisions we waited too long to make. Waiting for change while not doing anything for it is like waiting for the train at a bus stop. By 3 lessons we may learn wisdom. First, by reflection, which is noblest. Second, by imitation, which is easiest. And third, by experience, which is bitterest. Don't let other people's opinions drown out your inner voice. Hope for the best. Plan for the worst. Respect yourself, because people can see if you don't. It's impossible to make everyone happy, and trying to do so will only lead to frustration and disappointment. Stay away from people who can't see any wrong in their actions but see every wrong in yours. Focus on the step in front of you, not the whole staircase. Be brave enough to be bad at something new. Your thoughts are like boomerangs. What you pass along to others is what will come back to you. Listen to the people who tell you what you don't want to hear. The longer you entertain what's not for you, the longer you postpone what is. The cost of procrastination is the life you could have lived. Don't depend too much on anyone in this world, because even your own shadow leaves you when you are in darkness. You can't pour from an empty cup. Take care of yourself first. It is better to act and repent than not to act and regret. Excuses make today easy, but tomorrow harder. Discipline makes today hard, but tomorrow easier. If you are a giver, know your limits, because takers don't have any. If you don't clean up what's in your head, you'll drop what's in your hands. Never share your problems with friends before finding a solution, no matter how challenging it is. You don't lack focus, not potential. You lack consistency, not skill. You lack strategy, not resources. You lack discipline, not capability. Your future is in your hands, and the doubt is in your head. Everyone wants to skip struggle, not knowing that's where character is built. Self-pity is dangerous. Stay away from it. Vision without execution is just a hallucination. Making too many efforts to forget someone is remembering them all the time. Never let a lack of support stop you from achieving your goal. Don't be afraid of losing people. Be afraid of losing yourself by trying to please everyone around you. Putting off until tomorrow is your weakness. Once you are mature, you will realize that silence is more powerful than proving your point. A lack of boundaries invites a lack of respect. Work for it more than you talk about it. Stop choosing what's not choosing you. Learn to be okay with not being invited, included, or considered. It won't happen overnight, but if you quit, it won't happen at all. Work at your job and make a living. Work on yourself and make a fortune. The hardest part is at the beginning of the journey. The rocket loses 90% of its fuel during takeoff. Sometimes people don't want to hear the truth because they don't want their illusions destroyed. Don't be upset by the result you didn't get from the work you didn't do. The journey of your success will always begin with the small step of taking a chance. Be alone until you're valued. By failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail. The things you say about others say a lot about you. Don't be afraid to start over again. This time you're not starting from scratch. You're starting from experience. It's not the future that's hazy. It's your thoughts about it. Stop expecting life to be fair. Start expecting yourself to be a better player, capable of handling any situation. When you stop chasing the wrong things, you give the right things a chance to catch you. Embarrassment is the cost of entry. If you aren't willing to look like the foolish beginner, you'll never be the graceful master. You are responsible for your own happiness. If you expect others to make you happy, you will always be disappointed. You are right about all the things you think you need to do. Don't wait, get started. Not everyone will make it to your future. Some people are passing through to teach you life lessons. Be a good person, but don't waste time proving it. Just because it's hard doesn't mean it's impossible. The best way to keep one's word is not to give it. Expect little from people. Expect a lot from yourself. That's the secret of a happy life. You can often regret your words, but you will never regret your silence. Don't ever let the same people disappoint you.